Everyone knows the classic Dutch DAF trucks. Reliable, predictable, steady highway haulers. They're kinda like Dr. David Banner from the Marvel comics. Smart and calm. But today, we're gonna talk about his alter ego, about the kind of machine that turns into an unstoppable green Hulk as soon as it leaves the asphalt and heads into the quarry. Meet GINAF, a brand that taught trucks how to bend their backs under 70-ton loads, in turn with 5 axles at once. They built their first vehicles from scrap left over after World War II, and now they produce the absolute kings of off-road, capable of things that ordinary dump trucks can't even dream of. Today, we're gonna find out how the Dutch created this titan for the toughest jobs on the planet. If anyone knows about extreme earthworks, it's the Dutch. Half of their country consists of land reclaimed from the ocean and protected by endless dikes. It was for this kind of titanic work, moving millions of tons of earth, that the uncompromising GINA trucks were born. It all started after World War II. Brothers Adrie and Wolfert van Ginkel had a family car business. The devastated country urgently needed strong and affordable trucks to rebuild its infrastructure, but there was nowhere to get them. Europe's car factories lay in ruins, so the Van Ginkel brothers made a brilliant decision. They went to the scrapyard. There, tens of thousands of abandoned American military trucks left over from Lend-Lease were rusting away. The brothers started converting military Dodge and Willys off-road vehicles for civilian use, and later took on the all-wheel drive GMC CKW. They converted them into civilian dump trucks with reinforced frames and fuel-efficient Leyland diesel engines. Having struck gold, the brothers began buying up military parts in bulk. By the end of the 50s, their company was building vehicles based on American heavy-duty REO and Diamond T chassis, installing DAF engines and cabs from local workshops. These vehicles were cheap and indestructible, so they sold like hotcakes. Having accumulated capital in the 1960s, the company began producing its own trucks with the then trendy cab-over-engine design. Production reached 100 units per year. They used Scania and DAF engines, Spicer gearboxes, and Rockwell axles. In 1967, the company received its current name, GINAF, an abbreviation for Van Ginkel Automotive Factory. They completely abandoned using other manufacturers' chassis and started welding their own extra-strong frames. And it was in the 70s that GINAF made its main engineering breakthrough. They introduced hydropneumatic suspension. This became their signature feature. This kind of suspension not only softened the ride and adjusted the ground clearance, it also perfectly distributed the load between the axles and leveled the truck during unloading at the quarry so it wouldn't tip over. And just so you understand how cool this technology is, let's take a look underneath. Forget about regular steel leaf springs or air bellows. The GINF system uses massive hydraulic cylinders connected to pressure accumulators filled with nitrogen. When the truck hits a huge pothole, the system instantly transfers hydraulic fluid between the axles. The wheels always grip the terrain perfectly, and the cab doesn't sway like a boat in a storm. This allows the vehicle not just to crawl, but to literally glide over a broken quarry, keeping the frame intact. Thanks to this technology, GINA began creating crazy multi-axle designs. In 1976, they were the first in Western Europe to present an all-wheel drive construction dump truck with 4 axles and a weight of 47 tons. And in 1984, they shocked the world by rolling out a 40-ton 5-axle chassis. And here's an interesting detail. Why did the Dutch get so fixated on these 5 axles? It's all about local legislation and the desire to preserve the roads. In most European countries, the weight limit on regular roads is 40 tons. But the Netherlands allows more, as long as the pressure is distributed correctly. Since a truck with 5 axles causes less damage to the asphalt, it is legally allowed to carry up to 50 tons. That's why GINA built these vehicles, so local builders could legally haul 10 tons more from quarries in a single trip. Due to the economic crises of the 70s, the company became even closer to DAF, widely using their powertrains. This wasn't mass-produced on an assembly line, but rather unique, hand-built special vehicles made to order, from ultra-heavy fire trucks to giant cranes. Over the years, the relationship between GINF and DAF turned into an interesting symbiosis that sometimes resembled hidden competition. DAF repeatedly tried to develop their own multi-axle chassis for heavy-duty conditions, but every time their engineers were left scratching their heads at how difficult the task was. Eventually, they realized it was easier to outsource this to their neighbors. GINA became something like an elite tuning studio for DAF. Even today, when a DAF customer needs a truck for absolutely extreme loads, official dealers just shrug and simply order a chassis from GINAF. The real boom came in the 90s. GINAF introduced revolutionary electronics for rear axle steering control. The massive truck would autonomously steer its rear wheels at low speeds using hydraulic cylinders, literally squeezing through the narrowest quarries. And the heaviest G-Series, equipped with cabs from the DAF 95 and engines with 428 horsepower, had steerable wheels on 3 or even 4 out of 5 axles. The total weight of such trucks reached 50 tons. By the way, the Dutch adapted this same all-wheel drive chassis for farmers as well, creating the so-called agro trucks. These vehicles are fitted with huge, extra-wide, low-pressure tires. But most importantly, they can drive across fields in a crab walk, meaning diagonally. Each wheel follows its own track and doesn't compact the moist Dutch soil twice. It looks as if a giant truck has just lost its mind. But for agriculture, it's a brilliant solution. In 2002, the X Series is released. The pinnacle of engineering was the 5-axle heavyweight X 54.50. 3 front axles and 1 rear axle were steerable. On construction sites, it could turn like a city hatchback. But the company's main trump card in the 2000s became the ultra-heavy quarry dump trucks of the HD series. Just imagine a 70-ton giant with a Cummins engine delivering 610 horsepower, special reinforced Sisu axles, and a body by KH Kipper. To stop a total weight of 100 tons, a whole combination of brakes was used here: pneumatic brakes, an engine brake, and a hydraulic retarder with 600 kilowatts for long descents. The machines were so smart that their electronics, when overloaded, simply wouldn't let the driver accelerate faster than 3 kilometers per hour. These giants were sent en masse to coal mines in Australia and ore quarries in Brazil. Another unique development is the hydroaxle system. This is a front-driving axle with a hydraulic drive. It would automatically engage at speeds up to 25 kilometers per hour. When the machine got stuck in sand or snow, rear-wheel drive alone was catastrophically insufficient. With such an arsenal of technology, GINAF simply couldn't stay away from motorsports. Starting from 1987, their racing trucks regularly tore through the sands at the famous Dakar Rally, consistently making it into the top 10 and serving as fast support vehicles. To clarify, a fast support vehicle isn't just a truck trailing somewhere in the back. It's a 10-ton truck packed to the brim with spare parts, racing across battered dunes at 150 kilometers per hour, overtaking specially prepared off-road vehicles just to reach the race leaders in time to help them. Their GNF chassis could withstand these hellish loads. But Dakar is not only about triumph, it's also about harsh lessons. In 1988, a terrible tragedy happened to the truck of their fellow competitors. The ultra-powerful 2-axle DAF turbo twin of Jan de Rooij crashed at insane speed, resulting in the death of the co-driver. Even though it was a DAF, the consequences affected everyone. The International Automotive Federation, or FIA for short, slammed on the brakes and strictly limited the speed and power of trucks in the rally. The era of unlimited deadly trucks was over. For GINAF, this became a new challenge. Now, victories were won not by blindly increasing horsepower, but by brilliant balance, chassis endurance, and perfect suspension performance. And our Dutch Hulk learned to be not just strong, but smart too. But then, the Hulk story took a turn for the worse. The financial crisis of 2008 hit the exclusive assembly hard. In 2011, GINAF declared bankruptcy. The company was bought by the Chinese, who tried to put the brutal quarry truck on batteries. Only electric dump trucks and tractors based on DAF components appeared, and they were even tested on special tracks with wireless charging in Sweden. But the Chinese management couldn't cope with the consequences of the pandemic. Investors changed one after another, and in November 2024, GINAF went bankrupt again. It would seem this is the end of our story. However, at the beginning of 2026, production came back to life again thanks to Asian investments and a deal with major Dutch dealers. GINAF, although in small numbers, continues to build its unique multi-axle chassis. They prove that as long as there are ultra-heavy loads and extreme quarries in the world, there will always be a place for those who know how to bend their backs. That's the story of engineering madness. And what do you think? Do such exclusive and expensive hand-built machines still make sense today when the market is flooded with mass-produced quarry trucks from Volvo and MAN? Share your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next videos.